definitely enough for publicity. It would be shocking enough to shake the entire Hong Kong financial sector. If Qin Fei relied on this reputation to attract investment funds, who knows how many big bosses in Hong Kong would want to invest in him. Raising 100 billion Hong Kong dollars would be a piece of cake. He never expected it would be that young man. No wonder the other party had such a special temperament. He had not anticipated it would be him, especially since he previously said that the Hang Seng Index had not reached its lowest point and could continue to fall. This matter also changed Li Chaoren's expression. Now the Li family was suffering heavy losses, having sold several buildings to replenish their losses. Unfortunately, it still wasn't enough. If the Hang Seng Index continued to fall, they would continue to lose hundreds of billions, even thousands of billions of Hong Kong dollars. When I have the chance, I'll visit him. By the way, where does he live? Sha Yifu mentioned this and smiled bitterly. The first villa he bought is right over there in Repulse Bay. He lives there now. Li Chaoren was even more surprised, completely not expecting that this genius trader was actually his neighbor. Now he realized it. After spending over $1 billion Hong Kong dollars, Qin Fei still had 600 million Hong Kong dollars left in hand. Upon returning, he checked the fluctuations of the Hang Seng Index in Hong Kong, which was at 100 points, down 10 compared to yesterday. A drop of 1,000 points in one day was indeed significant. Just then, Yang Yi brought him a cup of coffee. While drinking the coffee, he asked Yang Yi to bring him a newspaper. The Hong Kong Evening News and Morning News would do. The news reports from major newspapers and financial newspapers are the best. Yang Yi nodded and immediately obediently brought over the morning and evening papers for Qin Fei to check today's financial news. It was evident that the Hang Seng Index in Hong Kong was declining and many Hong Kong stocks were also falling, which could be seen in the newspapers, reflecting the recent fluctuations in the Hong Kong stock market. Li Chaoren sold 5 buildings, continuing to increase his position with 200 billion Hong Kong dollars to bet on the rise of the Hang Seng Index, trying to save the market. The Zhao family pulled out of the Hong Kong restaurant industry, causing shares of 5-star restaurants in Hong Kong to plummet. And the fluctuations in the property market affected the restaurant industry. Sir Xiao sold several villas, cashing out 30 billion Hong Kong dollars, bottom fishing the Hang Seng and stabilizing TVB shares, as TVB's stock price might drop. What kind of saving is the Li family trying to do? What a joke. In the current situation, no one can save it. Moreover, the other party is clearly trying to make money for themselves, not for the shareholders. Qin Fei sneered, planning to short sell with 600 million Hong Kong dollars, intending to drive the market down. Breaking through 13,000 points was certain. If it dropped below 13,000, TVB's shares might also decline. TVB is too famous. After chatting with Xiao Yifu, he understood very well that TVB shares would not drop unless the other party was willing to sell. If they really wanted to buy, they had to let TVB's shares drop to the lowest point. Therefore, he forcibly pulled down the Hang Seng Index, leveraging 600 million Hong Kong dollars with a multiplier. In a situation of dozens of times leverage, he began betting on the Hang Seng to fall below 13,000. In this bet, if the Hang Seng dropped to 13,000 today, he could earn more than double the profit. If the Hang Seng rose, he would definitely be left with nothing. But would the Hang Seng Index really rise? Qin Fei glanced at it, looking calm as he watched the Hang Seng drop from 14,100. The dollar index was about to break 120 points, and a rate cut in the U.S. stock market was inevitable. The Hang Seng would definitely fall. It was just a matter of how much. It couldn't go back to 14,000, and after hitting 13,000, it would definitely break below 12,000. It was just a matter of when it would drop below 10,000. If it broke below 13,000 today, it wouldn't hold above 12,000 tomorrow, and it would likely drop again the day after. The crazy decline had started, and it couldn't be stopped at all. Those wealthy individuals investing tens of billions of Hong Kong dollars to save it were just throwing money into the water. Qin Fei watched the Hang Seng Index at 14,100. After the market opened, it dropped by 100 points every 10 minutes. This decline caused panic among investors, and many Hong Kong stockholders were cursing. No matter how favorable the Hong Kong media was toward the Hang Seng and bullish on Hong Kong stocks, the stocks were still plummeting. Not a single stock was in the red. Everything was in the green. Chapter 28. The richest man of Hong Kong comes to visit. What a rare situation this is. And in this case, even the mainland A shares are implicated. Countless stocks are in the red, with not a single one in the green. In other words, during the financial crisis of 2008, as long as you managed to avoid losses, you were the biggest winner. That year had no bull market, only a true low point. If you could preserve your principal, you were better than over 99% of stock investors. This is the terrifying nature of the 2008 financial crisis. Amidst the sea of red, countless Hong Kong investors have lost too much money, and now the online forums are in an uproar, with groups of people cursing in various Hong Kong forums. A veteran investor with 10 years of experience said, "The Hang Seng Index has never been this green over the years. It's awful. Greener than the green hat on my head." A 20-year veteran of Hong Kong stocks remarked, "I've been trading Hong Kong stocks for 20 years. And this is the first time all stocks are in the red. Not a single one is rising." A gambler who has lost everything lamented, "I have mortgaged all my funds, with total assets of $1 billion. If it continues to be in the red, I can only go to the rooftop." A gambler who has lost 50 said, "I have already lost 50. If it keeps going down, I will be liquidated." Now, many have lost over 50, and due to the situation with high leverage, they are on the brink of liquidation. After liquidation, there will be nothing left, and there is even the possibility of owing money to the bank. This time, many people in Hong Kong really have to go to the rooftop. The Hong Kong stock market is like this. They are all gamblers trading stocks until they go bankrupt, with not a single normal person among them. Without any critical thinking, they completely lose control, and in the end, losing everything is self-inflicted. If one does not have predictive ability, they should stay away from the stock market. Even the most experienced Hong Kong traders approach the stock market with reverence. No one wants to engage in a high-stakes gamble with their entire fortune. Only a fool would do that. The stock market is not something that ordinary people can play with. Once you enter, it's as deep as the ocean, and you can go from a billionaire to a beggar. In a single day, it can turn billionaires into beggars. The Hong Kong stock market is truly ruthless. Without absolute confidence, Chin Fei would not dare to trade Hong Kong stocks. Even now, he operates with great caution. The greater the volatility, the more complicated his operations become. Without having access to predictive systems, he only dares to make small trades, taking profits of a few percent before stopping. With an asset of 600 million Hong Kong dollars, earning over 800 million Hong Kong dollars, he stopped. Because next, he did not dare to analyze recklessly. He remained cautious, waiting until tomorrow when he could use his predictive abilities again. After glancing at the forums where many people are losing money, he sighed and closed the stock market. His tense nerves needed to relax a bit. He found Yang Yi and took the opportunity to teach him some good relaxation postures, making him very happy. Ding dong! The doorbell of the luxury villa rang, and the maid approached and opened the door reflexively. Knowing it was a guest, she respectfully inquired, "May I ask who you are looking for?" Outside the door stood an older man and a younger one. The older one, with a humble demeanor, spoke up, "Is this Mr. Chin's house?" "Ha, I live next door. My surname is Li. I brought gifts this time to specially visit Mr. Chin. This is our small token of appreciation." After speaking, he presented a few high-end wine gift bags. The maid took them, clearly recognizing that this brand was not ordinary. She seemed to have seen it in a Hong Kong supermarket. A bottle of genuine Philippe wine starts at no less than 100,000 HKD. This wine is top-notch, and with just a few bottles, it must be worth several 100,000 HKD. This gift is worth over 1 million HKD. At first glance, this is clearly someone wealthy. Not daring to be negligent, she quickly said, "I will notify Mr. Chin right away. Please wait a moment." Leaving the two outside, the younger one, Li Chaoran too, looked at his father with a dissatisfied expression and could not help but speak up. "Dad, what are we doing here? Why are we specially visiting someone? Who exactly is he? Is it necessary for our Li family to pay a visit?" The younger Li was unhappy. Their family, the Li family, is a prominent family in Hong Kong, yet they were here to visit someone who may or may not be a prominent figure. He had heard that the other party was young, just like him. This time they had brought gifts that cost 2 million Hong Kong dollars, which shows how much Li Chaoran valued the visit. Li Chaoran glanced at his disgruntled son and said with a stern face, I told you to go to bars less often and not to hang out with those unruly friends. Have you not been paying attention to the Hong Kong stock market lately? The younger Lee looked embarrassed, scratching his head, and said, I know the Hong Kong stock market has dropped too much. The tens of billions I invested have decreased significantly. But the stock market isn't always like this. It will definitely rise again, right? Is it really possible to get liquidated? At the mention of liquidation, Lee Chaoren's expression changed, looking grim as he gritted his teeth and said, yes, you are right. Many investors in Hong Kong have already been liquidated and owe the banks a lot of money. You might not know, several local banks in Hong Kong are on the verge of collapse due to severe capital shortages. The younger Lee turned pale, completely unprepared for the seriousness of the situation. He became anxious, genuinely frightened. Dad, are you serious? Should I take that money out? But if I do, I'll incur significant losses. Dad, what should we do? Lee Chaoren sighed. After all, he had also suffered significant losses. He had sold several buildings, extracted several billion HKD, and invested it. But the results were disheartening. The Hang Seng Index kept falling, causing him great anxiety. He almost considered fleeing Hong Kong, leaving this cursed place. At that moment, he suddenly remembered a talented trader in Hong Kong that Sir Xiao had mentioned, who was his neighbor. The other party actually lived right next door, and so close he planned to visit. Bringing his son along was just to make a connection. Before long, the maid finally allowed them to enter. Lee Chaoren's expression brightened as he entered the luxurious villa with his son. Inside Qin Fei's villa, Qin Yao had just finished school and was watching TV on the sofa. When she saw the guests, she inadvertently looked up and was struck by a sense of familiarity. After a second of daze, she finally realized, you are the richest man in Hong Kong. Brother, Mr. Lee has come to visit us. Qin Yao's expression changed dramatically. She had not expected Lee Chaoren to visit her home. Excited, she exclaimed, prompting Qin Fei to come down with Yang Yi slowly. Casting a glance at Lee Chaoren, his face was calm and nonchalant, clearly showing no surprise. Oh, Mr. Lee, what brings you here so late? He instructed to prepare tea for Mr. Lee and added, by the way, Mr. Lee, this is my sister. It's her first time meeting you, so please don't mind her excitement. Qin Yao was naturally excited. After all, many people in Hong Kong knew of his reputation. The Lee family is the top aristocracy in Hong Kong, and most people would be thrilled to meet him. However, seeing someone as calm as Qin Fei was a first for him. He felt this young man was incredibly impressive. No wonder Sir Xiao had called to inquire about him. After all, the way this young man looked at him made Lee Chaoren feel a bit uneasy. He found himself smiling in front of this younger man, flattering him. Miss Qin, you are indeed beautiful and a true lady of the house. Mr. Qin, I have long admired your name. Beside him, Qin Yao was very pleased. She didn't expect that Lee Chaoren would say to her brother that he had long admired his name, even if it was just a polite remark. It still made Qin Yao feel proud. She thought her brother was amazing, not to mention that he could earn billions of Hong Kong dollars and buy this big villa. Now, even Lee Chaoren from the Lee family came to visit. Why could her brother be so impressive? Qin Fei smiled faintly, pulled Yang Yi to sit on the sofa, and calmed Qin Yao's excited heart. Then he spoke, Mr. Lee, do you know me? Lee Chaoren was already eager to speak, his expression serious. Of course, the last time Mr. Buffett, the stock god, operated with billions of dollars and unexpectedly, he was thwarted by a Chinese person in Hong Kong, resulting in a loss of over $100 billion. While this Hong Kong Chinese person only used less than $60 million, the other parties seemed to know quite a bit, having quickly investigated my account. However, the other party probably doesn't know that the trading profits in my account are quite terrifying. It's not just as simple as thwarting the stock god Buffett. With a faint smile, he appeared calm. This is just a small achievement, nothing much. Mr. Buffett has so many assets. A loss of $100 billion is nothing for him. Indeed, for a world-class stock god, a loss of $100 billion is trivial. However, being able to thwart him and cause losses is terrifying strength. Lee Chaoren understood very well that no one in the entire Hong Kong financial world dared to do this. This guy was definitely the number one in Hong Kong finance. He didn't have this thought when he came, but after seeing Qin Fei in person, he started to have this idea. Because the other party's temperament was so different, the ability to see through everything and his calm demeanor made him sure. This person was the god he was looking for. Li Chaoren immediately expressed his intention. Mr. Qin, here's the thing. Our Li family has suffered serious losses recently, and I would like to seek your guidance. I wonder if Mr. Qin could help us? The other party was clearly here for the Hong Kong stock market. Qin Fei smiled slightly and replied, "Oh, I don't know how you want me to help." Li Chaoren was eager. The Hong Kong Hang Seng is sluggish, and now the Hang Seng Index is about to break 13,000. Mr. Qin must have a way to bring the Hang Seng back to 19,000. Can it be revived? Chapter 29. 10 billion Hong Kong dollars in hand. Qin Fei wanted to laugh. They were overestimating him. He never expected that they would ask him to save the market. How could that be possible? It was simply unfeasible. Shaking his head, he decisively refused. It's impossible to reverse the Hang Seng's decline. I really can't say how much it can drop to now. Li Chaoren looked puzzled. He didn't expect such a brilliant trader to say this. He felt that the Li family could only sell off to stop their losses. Seeing the painful expression on Li Chaoren's face, Qin Fei understood that this guy had quite a bit of capital on hand. With a sly smile, he spoke directly, "Mr. Li, I've recently established a foundation focused on financial trading. I don't plan to open it to the public. The fundraising is only for internal purposes, and there are limited spots. I wonder if you might be interested?" Li Chaoren looked over with curiosity. How much capital does Mr. Qin plan to raise? Qin Fei raised his hand, making a bold statement. 10 billion Hong Kong dollars. I guarantee a profit of 1.5 billion Hong Kong dollars. If we earn more, the remaining profits will be mine. Li Chaoren's eyes lit up. After thinking for a moment, he realized that it was impossible for him to make money right now anyway. It would be better to hand over the funds to someone else to manage. He nodded and agreed. "Well, our Li family is very willing to invest 10 billion Hong Kong dollars in Mr. Qin's foundation." Qin Fei was very pleased. He raised his hand, and the two shook hands, quickly becoming good friends. "This is wonderful. Thank you for your investment, Mr. Li." Li Chaoren smiled, and Qin Fei also smiled, inviting him to stay for dinner. Li Chaoren did not refuse. As the Filipino maid prepared home-cooked dishes, the group chatted happily while eating. In the end, watching his father chatting so joyfully with someone not much older than him made Li Xiao, the second-generation heir of the Li family, dumbfounded. He truly did not expect that someone of the same age could have such presence. He sincerely admired him. He had initially looked down on him a bit, but now, seeing him engage in such a lively conversation with his father, he felt differently. Li Xiao was no fool. As they were about to leave, he enthusiastically approached Qin Fei to ask for his contact information. "Mr. Qin, please give me your phone number. I definitely want to find you to hang out whenever there are activities. You are truly my idol. Haha, you're the first person I admire. Mr. Qin, you must give me a chance. One day, I'll treat you to a bar." Li Xiao was quite enthusiastic, addressing him as Mr. Qin, which made Qin Fei feel good. Interacting with these rich second-generation heirs could elevate his status. He took out his flip phone and exchanged contact information, and after some small talk, they parted ways. Watching his son exchanging contact information, Li Chaoren was very satisfied. As they were leaving, he instructed Li Xiao, "This young man is far superior to you. I can tell from their conversation that he is definitely a big player in trading. Make sure to engage with him well in the future. Don't spend all your time with those idle friends. Otherwise, I will have to reconsider whether the family business will be passed on to you." Li Xiao's expression changed, and he quickly agreed. He understood that Mr. Qin was too important to him, and he had to firmly hold on to this big leg. He never expected to receive such high praise from his father. After Li Chaoren left, the maid began to tidy up. Now, Qin Yao and Yang immediately clung to him, as they were both curious about Li Chaoren's sudden visit. "Wow, brother, why did Li Chaoren come and visit us? He even agreed to give you 10 billion Hong Kong dollars for the foundation. That's amazing. Yeah, cousin, so cool. It's incredible to get Li Chaoren to invest. Not many people can do that. 10 billion Hong Kong dollars is a lot of money." Qin Fei smiled faintly. 10 billion Hong Kong dollars is nothing to them. They just want to see my true capabilities. If I can really achieve a profit of over 15, they will definitely try to curry favor with me even more. At that point, we can enter the Hong Kong elite. Indeed, the closer his relationship with the Li family, the more he would truly become part of the Hong Kong elite. He was stepping into the realm of the wealthy. Now, taking out his phone, He saw a text notification that 10 billion Hong Kong dollars had already been deposited into his bank account. The Li family was not worried about him running away with the money, as even many banks in Hong Kong had to act according to the Li family's wishes. That was why they transferred the money so decisively. Now, with 10 billion Hong Kong dollars, his confidence in trading was significantly boosted. What was 15 profit? His past returns were not even at 15. As long as he exceeded 15 profit, the remaining earnings would be his. This 10 billion Hong Kong dollars would greatly assist him in expanding his trading profits. Making 100 billion was not a problem at all. In high spirits, he awaited the upcoming trading operations tomorrow. He believed this wave of operations would bring him huge profits. With 10 billion in operational funds, he could do quite a few things. Controlling a Hong Kong stock was not a problem. For him now, this was quite helpful, and he was truly grateful to the Li family for simply managing to pull 10 billion Hong Kong dollars from them. In good spirits, he secured the 10 billion Hong Kong dollars in operational funds. Next, he would look into what could make money and yield substantial returns. Although the Hang Seng Index was the first choice, the current decline of the Hang Seng would take time. It would take a few days for it to break 10,000. Now, the US dollar was definitely the top choice, as the storm in the US stock market was the biggest. With the continuous decrease in US dollar interest rates, the exchange rate of the US dollar was sure to explode. Qin Fei noticed that the USD RMB was still hovering around 6.7, not even dropping below 6.5. This surprised him. In his memory, the USD RMB price fluctuations should have already dropped below 6. It should be close to 5, considering the significant appreciation of the Chinese currency after 2008. It was no longer the previous ratio of 7, and the fact that the USD RMB was still holding strong at 6.5 piqued Qin Fei's interest in trading. It seemed that the US dollar RMB had been artificially pulled down a bit. This way, he could help the Chinese currency rise while also making a profit. In good spirits, he decided to focus on the USD-RMB ratio and go short to profit from US dollar assets. Since he wanted to drive down the US dollar this time, he didn't convert his assets into US dollars. Instead, he converted everything into RMB. By shorting the US dollar with RMB, he could hold on a 95.5 billion renminbi, which was about 108 billion Hong Kong dollars. Among this, 8 billion Hong Kong dollars was his, while the remaining 100 billion Hong Kong dollars was the asset acquired from the Li family. After securing this money, he of course prepared to predict the trend of the USD RMB. A day later, in the morning when the market opened, the USD RMB opened at 6.7, fluctuating up to 6.8, causing the RMB exchange rate to begin to drop. As the USD JPY fell, the USD RMB rose, which severely impacted the RMB's exchange rate. Many U.S. financial institutions seized this opportunity to enter the market, wanting to recover their losses from USD JPY by profiting from RMB foreign exchange. Qin Fei checked several financial forums, and this time, there were quite a few people bullish on USD RMB. GT Wall Street Fund. The USD JPY is down. Everyone shouldn't pay too much attention. There's still the rise of USD RMB. We can profit from this. See our Wall Street currency. Our company is putting out 200 billion US dollars. This time, we want to raise USD RMB to recover our capital losses. AM Bank of America. RMB is still easy to bully. To make up for the losses from interest rate cuts in the US stock market, we can only start with RMB. The bank's traders are in control, and it will definitely break 7 again. US stock investors. Good. Breaking the 7 level will allow us to extract RMB and get some blood back for our dollars. These people really want to get some blood back from RMB. Qin Fei, who couldn't stop smirking, entered with 9.55 billion renminbi. Although it seems small, under his 10-fold Hong Kong stock leverage, this round of capital magnified is a leverage fluctuation of 95 billion renminbi. Starting from an exchange rate of 6.7, he directly pushed it down. As long as it doesn't break 6.8 and drops to 6.65, it's his victory. He predicted the morning's foreign exchange trends, and the USD RMB fluctuations were the lowest point of 6.65 to 6.69, then rose to 6.75. So, stabilizing at 6.65 means success. He directly increased his position while countless U.S. financial institutions were pushing it up, stabilizing at 6.65. Initially, he put in 1.5 billion renminbi, dropping from 6.7 to 6.69. Then he added another 2 billion renminbi, bringing it from 6.69 to 6.67, continuing with a short position of 5 billion renminbi. It immediately dropped from 6.67 to 6.65. Seeing 6.65 appear, Qin Fei shorted all his assets against USD RMB. It didn't hold at 6.65 for long. Just under 10 minutes, and his future trend prediction changed. Just as he thought, he smirked and laughed. 6.65 held, and next the big drop began, falling from 6.65 to 6.5, and 6.5 might not hold either. With a satisfied look, he watched USD RMB drop at 6.65 to 6.63, 6.62, 6.60, 1.6 for USD RMB appeared. Even the Financial Times and Huaxia started reporting, giving a boost to RMB. The USD RMB reached a historical low, which is good news after the decline of A shares. The four major banks invested 5 trillion renminbi to boost RMB foreign exchange, and the international situation for RMB looks great. Qin Fei was also incredibly impressed. The four major banks really have money, directly pouring in 5 trillion renminbi, and indeed forcibly boosted the RMB. It was a good boost for RMB, directly catching the dollar capital off guard. Watching USD RMB drop to 6.6, it quickly fell below 6.5. Meanwhile, at the U.S. Capitol Forum, there were continuous wails. After all, no one expected that a mere Huaxia could be so strong. They could come up with so much capital to save the day. This time, they really got badly hurt. GT Wall Street Fund. The evil Huaxia, how despicable. This time, our GT company suffered severe losses. We can't go on. We must retreat. See our Wall Street currency. Originally we thought it would break 6.7 and reach 6.9. But who knew it would directly drop to 6.5? How frustrating. AM Bank of America. These four major banks are too shameless, taking advantage of the volatility to rush in and make money. A bunch of lunatics. Many institutions started cursing, but it still couldn't stop the appreciation of RMB. And the USD RMB exchange rate plummeted. Chapter 30. Qin Xiao, who made billions in seconds this time. Qin Fei made a profit of 30. After completing the agreement with the Li family, he earned nearly 1.5 billion renminbi in assets. In a good mood, he started counting his money. Seeing the USD RMB exchange rate reach 6.5, he continued to short the market and drive it down. He felt that even if he didn't make 30 profits, a 30 profit was still possible. This operation was simple and convenient, as the next trend would be a decline in the USD RMB to its lowest point. So, taking advantage of this opportunity, he executed a few more trades, earning another 2 billion renminbi and then 1 billion renminbi. In total, that was a profit of 4.5 billion renminbi. And with the agreement with the Li family, he had nearly 6 billion renminbi in profits. With a 60 return completed, he exchanged it for Hong Kong dollars, and afterward, his bank account showed 17.36 billion Hong Kong dollars. Besides the 11.5 billion Hong Kong dollars owed to the Li family, he still had 5.86 billion Hong Kong dollars left. He was now on the verge of becoming a billionaire. He hadn't even called the Li family yet, but it was clear they were aware of the money he exchanged for Hong Kong dollars that had arrived in the bank. Originally 10 billion had turned into 17.36 billion, and the other party proactively called him, clearly delighted. Mr. Qin, you are amazing. I didn't expect you to achieve a 60 return from trading in just one morning. I truly admire you. If I gave you 100 billion Hong Kong dollars, you could probably earn over 10 billion, right? Qin Fei chuckled and replied, I just got lucky, Mr. Li. I've transferred the profits to your bank account, as we agreed. Soon, he transferred the money and kept 5.86 billion Hong Kong dollars for himself. Everything was settled before he even had a chance to sip his tea. Meanwhile, the Li family's second son, Li Xiaoqiao, also called him, trying to get close. Qin Xiao, I've reserved a bar counter for you and want to introduce you to some friends. Come over and have some fun. There are plenty of beautiful women here, huh? But don't let your sister-in-law find out. The other party was indeed a carefree young master, who, knowing Qin Fei had established a relationship with the Li family, immediately arranged a bar party for him. He even invited a group of beautiful women over. Qin Fei thought about it and decided to go check it out. After all,